are the champion, the one that holds the line and finishes the mission. Everything that you want is within your grasp. You wake up in the morning ready to dominate the day, and every step taken is with purpose and integrity. Because you were not put on this planet to live a mediocre existence. You are here to conquer and make the biggest impact possible, not only for yourself, but for your family and for your tribe. This world is a battlefield, and we will be victorious. This is the Norse Mentality.
What's up, guys? I hope that you are having a glorious damn day. Today, me and my man Cowboy Cody here are going to talk about how to handle bad days. And the reason we're going to talk about this today is because we're trying to think about what topic to discuss on this episode. And we both had kind of shitty days yesterday. It was just one of those days. And that's something that everyone deals with. I don't care who you are. Even the most enlightened monk probably wakes up some days and he's just like,
fuck, man.
What the fuck's going on here?
I got to do today? Yeah, damn. All right, well, whatever.
Yeah, well, how am I going to deal with this?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, is how do we deal with ourselves on bad days? That way we can continue moving forward to the best of our ability. And I think the first step here is having self-awareness. Being able to realize that something is off. Because that's what happens whenever you have a bad day, is because something is off. Sometimes you just wake up and you don't want to get out of bed. You're just not feeling it. You want to pull the covers right back over your face and be like, fuck this, I'm not dealing with life today.
Nope, not doing it.
But that's not an option. That's not something
not
that we can do. We all have responsibilities. And also, what is that going to do? What is laying in bed, wallowing in self-pity, feeling bad for yourself and all this other shit, or just laying there thinking about all the terrible shit that might be going on in your life, what is that going to do? It's not going to fix anything.
It's going to definitely make it worse.
It's going to make it worse. But how do we get up that motivation, or whatever you want to call it, to get our ass out of bed, put our feet on the floor, and start moving forward to the best of our ability? And it's just one foot in front of the other. But something that I like to do as soon as I wake up, before my eyes even open, is check in with myself. I ask myself, how are we doing today? And sometimes I hear this little voice and it's like, not doing very good.
Not doing too good today, Andy.
Not
doing
great.
too good.
Okay. All right. Well, shit. Okay. Well, now that I'm aware of this, I know that I need to try a little bit more to stay on top of my shit, to keep myself together for my kid, for my team, for myself, for my partner, whatever it is. Like, I need to make sure that I'm still showing up to the best of my ability, because just because I'm having a shitty day doesn't mean that I can take it out on other people. That's not fair to them.
No, and that happens way more than I think people realize.
Well, it's because of a lack of self-awareness.
Yeah, projection, man.
They don't realize that they're talking to someone in a pissy tone, or they don't realize that they're snapping at everyone that comes at them, or maybe they're just being rude as hell, or they're just not doing anything, like they don't show up as the best version of themselves, which you don't have to all the time. Like, you're human.
Yeah, especially if you expect that 100% of the time, you're in some trouble right there.
Well, you're going to beat yourself up.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of making sure that you're perfect all the time for other people, because you are human. And the people around you should understand that, but that doesn't give you an excuse to treat other people like shit. And this is something that I really have to keep a watch on, especially if I'm tired, if I'm running myself into the ground like we have been lately. That's kind of where both of our bad days came from. We've been super busy at HQ. We have a lot of stuff going on with the brand. You're training hard as hell with Muay Thai. I've been training with lifting and jiu-jitsu, also taking care of my little girl by myself, top of running multiple companies. Like, it adds up. And pretty much like how it's been for a while now is I wake up, and whenever I wake up, I don't stop until I go to bed. I have like a 30-minute window at the very end of the day around 9 o'clock where I just fall down. I'm like, okay, this is what happened today. And then about 30 minutes later, I'm like, fuck, I got to go to bed and restart this whole thing again. But I love it. Yeah. I love it. Like, I love my life, and I love that feeling of accomplishment after a really hard day. But whenever it's every single day, it takes its toll. And that's what me and you were dealing with yesterday.
Definitely experienced that. Yeah, man. Monday, woke up, came here to work, went and worked out afterwards, ran some backgrounds. Tuesday, 3 hours at Muay Thai. And then yesterday, I felt like I got hit by a car, mentally and physically.
We both showed up yesterday and on top of everything going on, I've been in this little losing season lately. in certain aspects of life where it's just one thing after another. Either the car's breaking down. Yesterday was my phone. This morning was my car. And it's been like that every day, it seems like, right? And it's just like, whatever. I don't react to those kind of things.
No.
It's just, well, this is something else I got to deal with, But I think something that helps me with that is not identifying with it. I don't identify with the fact that I'm stressed out or depressed, because sometimes you have a bad day because you're depressed. I've definitely had those in the past. But I'm not identifying with it. I'm not making that part of who I am.
Yeah.
Okay, something inside me is upset, but that doesn't mean that's who I am as a person. Like, I can still control this to the best of my ability. And I think that's something that people get caught up in is they go, well, I'm depressed. And that means I need to act depressed. And I need to do all these things that I would usually do in order to, distract myself from that. They, instead of leaning into it, they distract themselves and they don't actually deal with it. The more that you can lean into these negative emotions, the sooner they're going to pass. But it's not, does that make sense? I'm not identifying with it. I don't know if I'm saying that clearly.
Yeah, we might be going through, a stressful situation, but I'm not a stressed out person. I'm not going to let that become who I am. Ed, do I feel it in the moment? Absolutely, and you need to. You need to feel these emotions, but not letting them consume you.
But those emotions are not you.
Right.
And that's
Correct.
what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah.
Just because you have sadness within you, that does not mean that you are a sad person. Whenever you start identifying with these type of emotions, anger is another one. People wear anger as a badge of honor. They're proud of the fact that they're always pissed off at the world. It's like, that's who you are? You want to be that type of person?
That's exhausting.
That's exhausting,
Yeah,
right?
man.
It's lower energy levels. And whenever you're operating at those lower energy levels, like sadness, anger, all of that different stuff, you're always going to just feel run down no matter what.
They're draining.
Yeah, compared to if you're operating on a level of love, joy, all of those more positive emotions, gratitude. When you feel those, you have no other choice but to just be fired up, ready to go. But it's not allowing yourself to be like, I am this type of person. No, like this is just a temporary thing. And I think that's important to acknowledge as well. This is not going to be permanent. Nothing, not a single thing in this universe, in this world, in your life is permanent. Everything is always changing. Everything is constantly moving. It's developing. How today is, how are you feeling today? How you've maybe felt for the past few months, if it's really bad and you have depression or something, that is not how it's going to be forever. But whenever it happens day after day after day, like if you're in losing season, it's just one thing after another, it's very easy to fall into this trap of being like, this is just how life is. It's never going to get better. You are 30 years old and you're telling me you've never had a good day of your entire life? This is how it's always been? It's not realistic, but that doesn't stop our brains from thinking that way. And you have to have that self-awareness again to stop and go, that's not true. Yes, like the past few weeks have been rough, but I'm going to get to the other side of this and life's going to get good again. And then guess what? Life's going to get bad again. It's always changing like that. Good, bad, good, bad. But that's like the beautiful thing with it all. The beautiful part of life is that it is always changing. You don't know what's going to happen next. And that's exciting. Like waking up in the morning and being like, I wonder what's going to happen today. And whenever I'm in losing season, that's kind of like, I even look forward to that. I try to shift my perspective and be like, I wonder what shitty thing's going to happen today.
Because you look at it as a challenge.
Right, exactly.
It's like whatever happens today, how can I improve myself because of whatever that is?
Well, that's how we have to look at it as well. We need to shift our perspective. When bad things are happening, we need to look at them as, okay, this is a challenge. And if I overcome this, which I will, because I always do, I'm going to be a stronger person. And then the more challenges that you overcome, the stronger of a person that you are. And these things just become second nature. The reason I don't get upset when my car doesn't start as I'm taking my little girl to school this morning is because like it is what it is. It's not a big deal. I have had cars break down in the past and guess what? I got them fixed. And you move on to the next thing. Over time, you just learn how to deal with stress. And you also don't take it as seriously as you used to. The issue that people that live like coddled lives, people that don't really have to deal with anything because maybe they've had everything given to them and stuff like that. They're the most mentally unstable people I've ever met in my life. They don't know how to deal with difficulty. As soon as one little thing happens, they're completely derailed and they're thrown off course. Compared to someone that is like always dealing with shit, which is someone that is usually putting themselves in these situations. Maybe it's an entrepreneur. Maybe it's just someone with a really good work ethic and they're trying to move up the corporate ladder or whatever it is. Or it's you in the gym.
You trying to get better in general.
You trying to get better. You pushing yourself in the gym. That extra rep to break down that muscle as much as possible. That way it grows. Or you're doing cardio. You know, you're pushing yourself to go a little bit faster than you did last time. Trying to beat that mile. Maybe it's Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. Trying to stay calm underneath pressure when you're balls to the wall against an opponent. And you know that if you don't stay calm, your ass is grass.
You're going to get choked out. You're going to get kicked in the head.
So even staying calm, so to me, man, that is the ultimate challenge. Staying calm. No matter what comes your way, staying calm. And this is something that I realized probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I would say, is instead of like trying to react to everything, forcing myself to remain as calm as possible. When I want to lose my shit, forcing myself to remain calm. But over the years, that has become second nature to me. This is a habit now. That's all it is. It's a habit. Anger is a habit. Negativity is a habit. Being calm under pressure is a habit.
That's where clarity comes from. If you're in a situation where you have two options, I can either get super fucking angry or I can remain calm. That angry side is 99% of the time going to make the situation worse. That calm side where you think and have clarity and can really dial yourself into what you need to do. That's where change happens.
That's strength.
Yeah.
Being calm is strength. And being able to acquire that skill, because that's what it is. It's a skill. Being able to remain calm when life gets hard, that's what defines a strong person and a weak person. It's not how much weight you lift in the gym. Because I know a lot of people that are strong as fuck in the gym, and yet they're babies with every other aspect of life. They can't handle anything without losing their shit. It's like, you're not strong. Like, just because you can lift this much weight doesn't mean you're a strong person.
Physically, yes.
Yeah, physically, congratulations.
Yeah.
But mentally, you're not. Spiritually, you're definitely not. So being able to remain calm under pressure, that should be everyone's main goal. And it starts with just having that self-awareness, checking in with yourself. I'm feeling a little pissed off today. People are being really shitty towards me. Well, how am I going to respond to that? Am I going to fly off the rocker and just completely unleash hell on everybody and make everything so much worse? Or am I just going to let it go and realize that this is not important? A good question to ask yourself in these type of situations is, a year from now, is this going to matter? If you start getting upset about something, ask yourself that. If this happens in 6 months or a year or 5 years or whatever, is this going to matter at all? 99.9% of the time, no, it's not. This is in the moment, you're reacting to it. The goal here is to no longer react.
I started asking myself why multiple times. Why am I feeling this way? And then if I give myself an answer, well, why? Why? Like, let's get to the root of it.
That's how you get to the root of things.
Why am I angry today? You know, it could be a lack of sleep. It could be something that someone said, you know, but like once you ask yourself why and figure it out, usually these things are pretty simple fixes.
Yeah. And also you realize that they're silly.
Yeah.
They're small. And then hopefully you go, I'm mad about that.
Yeah.
I'm upset about that. I'm going to let that ruin my day.
Because I guess what happens is you don't catch it in the beginning stages. It starts compounding a little bit up until the point where you're just like, ugh.
That's how stress is.
Yeah, it just gets to a point where like maybe it's just this little thing that you know maybe started this snowball effect. And it's something simple and you're just like, all right, well, we're good now once you handle it.
Yeah. I think that I've been thinking about this a lot lately, actually, the difference between anger, stress, and depression, because those are the three things that people deal with the most, including myself. And I think stress falls in between anger and depression. I think stress is that emotion that's a combination of both, because when you're stressed, you're a little pissed off, but you're also depressed as well. Like, you're sad a lot of times. You're like, oh, I wish this would end. That's sadness. wishing just like, I wish that this would end, that's a form of sadness. But also just being like, as soon as someone says one little wrong thing to you, you fucking want to fight them because you're stressed out. That's anger. So stress is a combination of depression and anger.
It's like a fulcrum point.
Yeah.
Which way did we want to go?
Yeah, exactly. And it could go either damn way. But kind of acknowledging that as well and be, okay, well, this is stress. Stress is going to come and go. Stress is going to happen if I'm moving the needle. If I'm stacking victories every day, I'm trying to live the best life possible. I'm trying to accomplish as much as I can with my time here on earth. I'm going to be stressed out. This is just, it's inevitable, and that's okay. Stress is not a bad thing. Stress makes you stronger, and you also can increase your stress tolerance.
Yeah, you raise that baseline threshold.
Yeah, that's what people don't, that's a good way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you start getting stressed, change your perspective. Once again, I'm getting stronger as this. I'm getting stronger as a result of this situation happening to me. Instead of being like, poor me playing the fucking victim, say, good. I'm glad I'm stressed out right now. How am I gonna show up now?
Yeah.
How am I gonna react to it?
I started looking at it, as an opportunity. It's a learning experience. How can I use this, whatever I'm going through, to sharpen my center tools that I have? How am I going to use this opportunity not to make myself worse, but make myself better? What am I going to learn from this? If it's something with your car and you're not familiar with cars, well, guess what? You get to learn all these new things about cars, even though it's stressful and probably going to cost you a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But you know how to handle it past that point now.
Yep. Same with injuries during working out. It's definitely the case with business. Every mistake or every bad thing that has happened in business has allowed me to avoid it in the future. There's always a learning opportunity. But if you're learning, you're growing.
And if you don't, you're stuck.
You're stuck. So it's a matter of shifting your perspective on that. You're not a victim. This is good. It's good that this is happening to you because you're going to be a better person as a result of it. Be grateful for this opportunity to level up. If you start telling yourself that kind of stuff when things are going south, you have no other option but to feel strong and powerful. But you do not get to that point if you're always playing the victim. This kind of shit's always happening to me. I just can't catch a break. The world's out to get me. No one's out to fucking get you. This is life. This is how life works. There's ups and downs. But don't allow yourself to be that type of person that doesn't take responsibility for their internal state. You have control over that. It's having self-awareness. It's not identifying with it. It's realizing that emotion is just a fucking emotion. It's just like a thought. Your thoughts are not you. Your emotions are not you. They're products of you. But at the same time, you don't have to identify with them. You can detach. That's the main word here. You can detach from your emotions. You can detach from your thoughts. That's where meditation comes in. When you're meditating, you're observing your thoughts. And the more that you meditate and you are able to detach from these thoughts and these emotions and just look at them for what they are, things that are here, and then they're gone. How many times throughout the day are you thinking about something and then it's completely gone?
Plenty.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands probably, especially nowadays with how overactive our minds are. But that's the thing. You're going to take one thought this seriously, but not the other 10,000 that you had today. It's just a fucking thought. This is just an emotion. I've experienced happiness. I've experienced sadness. I've experienced anger. They come and they go. Not one's better than the other either. I think sadness serves a purpose. The most development I have made in my life personally was a result of sadness and anger. It wasn't from happiness. I don't level up when I'm happy. My quality of life is nice, of course, but I don't level up when I'm happy. The only thing that happiness comes from when it comes to leveling up, like something that you can gain from it, is having extra energy. You have extra energy to work towards your goals. That's why it's always nice to live in a beautiful state. Try to keep that beautiful state at all times. Tony Robbins talks about that all the time, and I love that. He tries his best to always live in a beautiful state. And the reason for that is because it gives you more energy. And when people can wrap their head around that, okay, I can be sad and I can not want to get out of bed, or I can be happy and grateful for life and everything that I have, air, food, my friends, my partner, my family, my car, the sun, the fucking clouds. Even if it's raining, I'm grateful it's raining. It's been hot as fuck lately. Good.
It needs to rain.
Dude, especially here in the South. In North Carolina, every time it rains, especially during summer, we're like, thank you. Thank you, Lord.
The sun pops back out, it just becomes a miserable hellscape.
Yeah, exactly.
It just gets hot and you can't breathe.
But whenever you can look at it from that perspective, you want more energy. It's not an energy drink that's going to do it. Yeah, I mean, you'll get a little short burst, but you have that natural energy boost inside of you. You just have to shift your perspective. You need to change your emotional state, and you can do that at any time. And one of the things is just moving. Just start fucking moving. Go work out. Go for a run. Go for a walk. Do something to move. Get that energy inside of you, because that's what it is. It's built up energy. And whenever you're meditating and you're in like a negative state, mental state, you can usually pinpoint, or I guess emotional. When you're in a negative emotional state, you can pinpoint where that's at in your body. Maybe it's in your chest, your stomach, your back, your head. I don't know, like wherever. Like that emotion is somewhere inside of you and it's built up. Well, how do we get that emotion to start kind of falling apart? That way it disappears quicker. You move. You lift weights. You sprint. You do some rounds with your bro, boxing or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is that you enjoy.
That's the main thing there is enjoy. Yeah. And some people are like, well, I hate exercising.
Then do something that you enjoy.
Just do something else. Go ride a bike. Just something. You need to move though. Go for a walk. I hate walking. Who the fuck hates walking? If you hate walking, then that is an issue. Because that's what every single thing with legs on this planet does. Like, we're supposed to walk.
If we stop producing gas, there's not going to be enough horses for everybody. Guess what? You're going to have to use your feet.
Yeah, exactly. But you just need to get moving. You need to get that energy moving. It's going to also release different chemicals in your body, endorphins, dopamine, all this different stuff that's going to make you feel better. During the roughest point in my life a couple of years ago, I remember I was sitting at a coffee shop working, trying to work. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go run. I'm just going to go run. I'm usually not like someone that runs anymore. I used to be back in like 15 years ago before I started lifting weights, but now I never think I'm just going to go for a run. It's not what I do anymore. But that day I was like, I'm just going to go sprint. I just want to run until I can't breathe anymore. And it was like December. So like whenever I started doing this, my lungs felt like they were going to explode, but I just ran and ran. And then whenever I couldn't do it anymore, I'd stop for a second and then I would run some more. And when I got done with that, that was the best I have felt in months. And it was just pushing myself. And I think there's a mental side to that as well, where you're proving to yourself that you can take control of this. I don't feel like running because I'm sad. Well, fuck it. I'm still going to go do it. That's you taking control of your emotion. That's you taking control of your mental state. Just because you don't feel like doing something and you force yourself to do it, that's accomplishing something. That's accomplishing something bigger than yourself, than this small concept of who you are. Because you're much bigger than that. There's different aspects of you. And whenever you're able to push out of that initial just hurdle, that wall, and break past that, you discover something new. And the more that you do that, the more that you're able to detach yourself from these emotional states, these negative mindsets, and take action, you're proving to yourself every single time, I have control. My emotions do not control me. My thoughts do not control me.
They don't get to.
No, they
Nothing
don't
should have the power over you like that.
Well, the issue here is that people identify too much with it. They identify with their thoughts and their emotions. They consider it who they are, but they're not. Like I said, these things come and go thousands of times every single day. 1 minute you're happy, 1 minute you're down. When you're happy, then you're down. And this is constantly doing that kind of shit. But we only focus on that. We never focus on being happy. We never focus on feeling powerful. We never focus when we're just full of gratitude. Those things we're just like, oh, okay. We don't ever actually sit there and soak that in. But if we're sad, oh, fuck, we're going to dwell on that all damn day. If we're angry, you're sure as fuck going to tell the whole world about it. You're going to get on Facebook or whatever and let everyone know how pissed off you are. But how often do you see someone post, I'm having a great fucking day today? We don't. We only focus on the negative shit.
There's a dividing line where you have negative emotion, positive emotion. And both of those things can be addicting. You just make that choice of what you kind of want your addiction to be. Do I want to be this person where like, woe is me, I'm the victim, I'm getting all this attention because, you know, I'm putting myself out there, like, this is what I'm dealing with, this, sad, 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 sad. Or do you flip your perspective? Because you can do the same thing with happiness, even though it doesn't feel like it. I think those negative emotions can have a little more pull on you.
Oh, for sure. Well, it's because we don't like them.
Yeah.
We don't like it. And if we don't like something, we always want to change it. But if we're happy, we take it for granted. Unless you're someone that has dealt with really bad depression. And then once you experience happiness, then you go, oh, fuck, I want to keep this for as long as I can.
We're going to make sure we do not go back to that hole.
Whatever we need to do to stay in this state, let's do that. But I think the best way to do that is with gratitude. In order to shift your negative state into a more positive one is gratitude. Sit down and write out all the amazing things that you have in your life. And you can take this as far as you want.
You have to be able to separate those feelings too. Like, and understand it. Like, this is how I was feeling in a bad spot. But this, I got myself out of that. And this is where I am now. And this feels better. But a lot of people don't make that crossover, man.
Well, they want to stay
and
here.
There's no understanding that, like, hey, things were very bad. And I pulled myself out of that.
And acknowledging that.
Yes. And be like, this is who I am now. And, you know, you're going to fall back into that trap. Like you said, ups and downs, but not letting yourself stay there is the big key here.
And having grace for yourself.
Yeah, man.
You need to have grace for yourself whenever you do fuck up or you just don't have a super productive day. And that's one of the things I have to deal with all the time because I'm always trying to accomplish as much as I can every single day. It's almost a disease at this point, I feel like.
That was yesterday for me, man. That was yesterday.
Yeah, same. Like, it's just, what can I do? But having that grace that, okay, I didn't get as much done today as I wanted to because I was just a little off. You know what? That's okay because I'm human. I'm allowed to have bad days. Once again, that doesn't mean you need to take it out on other people. You don't need to take it out on yourself either. You just need to acknowledge it for what it is. Today was an off day. That's okay. No problem.
You're going to have those.
Yeah, you're allowed to have those. You are allowed to have off days. And yeah, like, you might not show up how you wanted to. Well, show up better the next day. You have another opportunity. As long as you wake up in the morning, which hopefully you do.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
But, you know, that's gratitude again, though. Something I started doing again. So when I wake up, I check in with myself. And then I go through a little I just say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to wake up and experience life again. When you start repeating that kind of stuff to yourself every single day, you're starting the morning off in the highest state possible.
Instead of just being like, damn, I got to do this another day.
What do you mean you have to do this? You get to live life, motherfucker. I'm talking to myself right now, guys, by the way. Like, when I say motherfucker, like, I'm usually always referring to myself. I'm sure some people are like, well, fuck you too, Andy. No, like, when I say motherfucker, I'm always referring to that person inside of me.
This right here.
Yeah,
this guy.
This guy right here.
Conglomerate of shit.
But when I catch myself thinking like that, I always shift my mindset.
And you can do that immediately.
You can immediately.
You can catch it and do it immediately.
But that's it. When you catch yourself saying, oh, I got to do this again, good. Be thankful for the opportunity to fucking be able to do something. Because guess what? Some people can't. Or you could have not woken up today. And your life's fucking done. You don't have any more opportunities. I'll take a bad day over no day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No question.
Think about it like that. Think about death. You could fucking die tomorrow. Are you going to die? Are you going to spend your last day on earth angry and depressed over stupid shit? Or are you going to be happy because you have so much amazing things in your life? I don't care who you are. You have something to be grateful for. And life itself is the ultimate form of gratitude. If you need to find something to be grateful for, just be grateful for life. Be grateful for the opportunity to live, even if it's not ideal. Maybe you're going through a rough patch. Okay, cool. You're growing from it. Thank you for this opportunity to grow. But it's shifting that. When you catch yourself talking negative, oh, I got to go to work today. Well, at least you got a job. Some people don't.
Don't let that be your stopping point.
No.
Like, yeah, accept it for what it is. Like, I get the opportunity to do this, but I mean, don't let that hinder you from moving on in life.
No, but that's the thing, is having the self-awareness to catch those thoughts. It's catching those thoughts. But you can't do that until you're detached. When you're not having a thought and then going, oh, this is who I am. No. If it doesn't serve you, get the fuck out of here. If your thoughts do not serve you, if your emotions do not serve you, do whatever you need to do to get them out. To shift that perspective, to shift that emotional state that you're currently in. Because you have control over that. And it does get easier over time. Now, I'm not a pro at this. Like I said, yesterday was an off day.
Not great for either of us.
But when I woke up and I checked in with myself, and I was like, okay, it's going to be a rough one today. Cool. What do I need to start doing?
What did you do? Like, it's like waking up, all right, today's going to be rough. Like, I know I'm not going to be 100% today.
The first thing I did was start thinking about death. This is something I've been doing here lately. That's why I brought that up, because it's something I've always been thinking about nonstop for the past week or so. First, it was thank you. Okay, cool. Like, and I felt myself get a little bit better right then. Just thank you for still being alive. You know, I don't know what I'm saying thank you to, but whatever it is, thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to experience today. Whatever life brings me today, thank you. And then I started thinking about, okay, because I was still laying in bed. I was like, this might be my last day. And this is the kind of shit that I've been saying to myself lately. And I know it might sound dark and negative. And I actually
not like you're going to take your own life here.
No, nothing like that.
Not, yeah.
Well, I didn't want to talk about this actually, because the idea, and I was telling Felicia this the other day, because I was sharing this with her, and she thought I was a fucking lunatic probably. But either way, I told her, like, I want to experience this and meditate on the idea of death for the next month or so. And then I want to do a whole episode about it, which I still will. But that's what happened yesterday. I was like, okay, I was laying in bed, feeling a little down, and I immediately thought, what if this is my last day? Am I just going to lay here? And I immediately jumped out of bed. It catapulted me out of bed. I was like, okay, cool. Now what? So I meditated. And when I was meditating, I was figuring out what was going on. And to me, it was just burned out. That's what was happening yesterday. I was just burned out. A lot of shit every single day, from nonstop, from the time I wake up till I go to bed. It's just constant. And I was just feeling burned out. Okay, cool. Now I know what this is. I'm burned out. Well, that's okay. No big deal. So then I got Genevieve ready. I took her to school. And I was still feeling very off. Usually I try to talk to her and stuff on the way to school, try to get her excited for school and stuff like that. And yesterday I was just driving and I had nothing to say. So then I went back to the house and I did cardio. Once again, I got moving. And this is the thing, like whenever I catch myself in these states, I always go back to, okay, what am I always preaching on this show? I need to practice what I preach. I know these tools, well, let's make sure I'm using them because I know that they work. So I dropped Genevieve off. I started doing cardio. I did cardio for 20 minutes, incline of 10, speed of 3. And then as soon as I got done with that, I did breath work. 3 rounds of Wim Hof. And then I jumped in the ice bath. And then I just started repeating affirmations to myself. And the affirmation I was repeating was, all I do is win. That's something I've been saying to myself lately. Khaled. I don't know who that is, but either way.
Somebody will.
Somebody will. But either way, that's what I was repeating to myself. All I do is win. And what that did was it got me motivated to fucking attack the day.
Yeah.
Right? And then after that, I was good, man. For the most part. Like, I still wasn't 100%. You guys noticed it when I came in. Everyone asked yesterday, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm just super run down. But that's fine. And whenever I get run down like that, what I repeat to myself is just keep moving forward. One foot in front of the other. What can I do? And sometimes I'll have to readjust my whole day. Like, if we have, say, a content day where I'm having to knock out a bunch of videos or podcasts and stuff like that, I might have to like push it back. Like, this isn't happening today, but what can I do today to stack victories? And I think that's what all this boils down to. When you wake up in a bad mood or you're having a bad day, because sometimes I've had it happen midday where it's like 3 o'clock and all of a sudden my mood just completely shifts and I'm like, fuck. Well, that's it. I just start stacking victories. I remember this happened about 3 weeks ago. I got home and I was just in a really shitty mood. So I did exactly what I just said I did in the morning. I did cardio, I did breath work, I meditated, and I jumped in the fucking ice bath. I started stacking victories. Oh, and then I read. And then I was good. But once again, I was proving to myself that I have control over this. This isn't going to stop me from moving forward. I'm taking control of this. This is not going to hinder me. Whatever the fuck's going on inside of me can happen, but it's not going to stop me. Nothing is going to stop me, including myself. And I think that's like the biggest obstacle for anyone is their self.
You getting in your own way.
You getting in your own way. It's not the world. It's not life. It's no one else. It's you.
It's hard to tell yourself that. Hey, this is me stopping me.
Yeah, but once you do and you really just accept it and you take responsibility for it, that's what it is. It's taking responsibility for your life, your emotional state, your mental state. What are you going to do? Are you going to start stacking victories? Whatever you can do, even if it's something small, going on a 10-minute walk. You're going to feel better afterwards because when you're depressed or just feeling run down or anything like that, you don't want to do anything. But when you force yourself to start moving and to start stacking these victories, start stacking accomplishments, that's when you start feeling better. That's where motivation happens. That's what people don't understand about motivation. I know we just did a whole episode on this. I went on a whole 30-minute rant about it. But that's motivation is a byproduct of taking action. If you're feeling off, you just need to start taking action towards something. It could be something very small, but once you start doing that, you're going to feel better and you're going to find motivation in that. And that's all it is. Like, at least that's what it is for me. I can't speak for other people. But for me, it's always stacking victories, no matter what it is. And that's why every morning I start stacking victories as soon as my feet hit the ground. It's because I'm setting momentum for the day. And if I don't do that, the entire day is off. But also, I don't really have bad days anymore since I've started doing this. I have a whole morning routine, which is the same thing I just talked about. Meditation, breath work, cardio, ice bath, read. I knock all of that out usually before 6:30. From 5 o'clock to 6:30, I knock that out. It's just one thing after another. I don't look at my fucking phone. I don't talk to anybody. I just start stacking victories. And then by 6:30, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to take on the world. I'm ready to do what I was put on this planet to do. But it's setting yourself up for success first thing. And if you don't feel like doing it, you force yourself to do it anyways. What did you do yesterday?
It wasn't like right when I woke up. I got out of bed, I got to moving, and like once I started moving, I was like, something's not firing today on all cylinders. Like it just physically, I was run down. Like mentally, I was in a fog. And then I just told myself, get done what you can.
That's it.
You today is not 100%. I accepted that, and I was okay with it immediately. But I told myself, you just do what you can today. Came to work. I got my work done. Stayed over to pack some orders.
Yeah.
And then I went to the chiropractor, and when I got home, by the time I got home yesterday, I was just done. And then I was like, all right, well, what can I do to set myself up for the next day so this day doesn't spill over into tomorrow?
I think that's the most important part here. I think that is the most important part. I'm really glad that you brought that up. Not letting this bleed into the next day. Okay, today was shitty. Tomorrow will not be the same way. Make that decision. When you're laying in bed that night, make that decision. Start telling yourself, with your eyes closed, head on the pillow, tomorrow is going to be a glorious day. Tomorrow is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to stack so many fucking victories tomorrow. And just repeat that to yourself until you fall asleep. Hell, you might get so fired up repeating it to yourself, you get your ass out of bed and start fucking working, you know?
I've been there before. I've went into flow state right as my head hit the pillow at like 11 o'clock one night, and I was like, fuck it, we got to get out of bed and just write some shit down. We got to do this.
And that's okay. But that's a lot better than you were earlier that day, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not allowing this to bleed over to the next day and the next day and the next day.
That day turns into weeks. Those weeks turn into months, man, and it compounds over time. You put a hard stop on that shit. When you go to bed, it's a hard stop. Hey, like tomorrow's going to be better.
You have to tell yourself that. You have to take control of your self-talk. That's the most powerful thing that anyone can do. However you talk to yourself is how you show up. That's what controls your emotional state. That's what controls your thoughts. However you talk to yourself is what you're going to be thinking about throughout the day. If you're telling yourself the night before, tomorrow's going to be another shitty day, guess what? When you fucking wake up, tomorrow's going to be another shitty day. That's just the fact of the matter. You did that to yourself. We did that to ourselves.
Especially if that's the last thing you're telling yourself before you close your eyes.
You have no other fucking choice but for tomorrow to be shitty. But if you lay in bed and you make the decision right then and there, tomorrow's going to be fucking amazing. I'm going to get so much shit done. I'm going to have the best day of my life. And you wake up, and that's what's going to fucking happen. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Norse Mentality. This podcast is a byproduct of Norse Fitness. We make clothing, fitness accessories, supplements, and other tools to help you reach your true potential. You can check it out at norsefitness.co. And if you found this episode beneficial, please share it with a friend. That way we can continue to make a bigger impact and change the world. Thank you for your support, and we'll talk to you soon.